Welcome to my tutorial. My name is Adam Singer, and today I'll be teaching you how to play The Great Wide Open, a 1 to 3 player game that takes about 45 minutes of play for a familiar player. You, and perhaps your co-pilot, have crashed your plane into the Arctic tundra. With no sign of rescue, it's up to you to salvage what you can, face what nature has in store for you, and survive long enough to discover a way back home. And you gotta do what you need to do to get there. So let's get to the table and see how it plays. What I'll be showing you here is the 2-player competitive mode, where one player plays as the survivor and the other player plays as nature. This game also supports 2 survivors against a nature player, as well as solo and 2-player co-op against the game, which you can see in the rulebook. To set up the main play area, the first thing you're going to want to do is shuffle these 16 location tiles and place them in a 4x4 grid face down. Shuffle the forage cards and place one on top of each tile, like so. Then set the phase tracker. Nature plays during the night phase, and survivors play during the day phase. The game begins at night, so we'll flip it to night and place it where all players can see. To win the game, the survivor must first locate 3 of the 6 buildings hidden under these location tiles. Once the 3rd building is found, they'll receive a salvation card that describes what they must do to get home. If they can fulfill the objective of the card, they win. If they run out of health before that, nature wins. The survivor begins their journey on the tile that depicts the plane. Take the forage card and put it into your hand. You got a stick. Cool. These can be used for crafting later, so hang on to those. Flip the tile and place the survivor on the center space. Then set up your survivor tracker. Since you just crashed your plane, you took a bit of damage, so you're only going to start with 7 health. And then luckily you had a bit of food and water, so that gets set to the 3, in line with the health tracker there. And then lastly, you're going to start with 0 endurance. Hopefully that'll replenish in the morning. So the last thing you're going to do is draw a random card from this discovery deck. And this discovery deck is just full of special abilities and items that are always good for the survivor, and they grant the survivor special abilities. So let's see what you got. A can opener. So this is pretty nice. Less spillage means canned food's going to give you a bit of hydration as well. So let's move over to nature and get them set up. The first thing the nature player is going to want to do is place their scary bear token. One thing to note is that survivors move across spaces, but wildlife move across tiles. As a general rule, wildlife are afraid of humans and do not normally enter the survivor's tile, but the bear can be placed anywhere else, so I'll just put him there. Then the discovery tokens are placed. These are always good for the survivor because each one grants another discovery card, so nature wants to place these on tiles that are difficult to reach. The only rule with placing these is that there can only be 1 in each column and 1 in each row. Finally, the bear path tokens are placed. The bear moves each night and must move to one of these tokens. The only restriction with placing these is they have to be connected with the bear in any order. So I could place them like this, but I think I'm going to place them like this. Now everything's set up and we can start the game. So the game begins with nature, and nature primarily works with these 2 decks. We have the ability deck at the top and the wrath deck at the bottom. Each day, nature gets new abilities that they can draft from this row. Abilities are great, but you need wrath cards to activate them. A few things that nature can do to influence the weather and wildlife is increase the snowstorm intensity. For example, setting it to whiteout can really stress the survivor. Another thing nature can do is place wolves out in play. They work similar to the bear, but are a little bit different as they don't stay on permanently. And then they can also set hazards on different tiles to really inhibit the movement, and there's also a bunch of other things that they can do as well. A cool thing with these abilities is if you have, say, this vicious card and then you see it pop up again, you actually flip that and it turns into an upgrade. And then you just link those together, and now for the same cost you have an additional ability for that action. The survivor, on the other hand, wants to make efficient use of their endurance to find new locations, discover items and resources, and that includes reusing the trash from used items to create something completely new. There's so much more that I want to tell you, but I really hope that you'll get the chance to get this to the table yourself. So have a great night, and remember to stay warm. Thank you.